Hey everyone, welcome to the channel, and in this video, I'm going to be going over 5 things that you need to know or do in GeoGuessr. These 5 things are pretty general, so they should apply to pretty much everyone, whether you're brand new to the game or you've been playing for several years now. But before we get into that, I do want to make a bit of an announcement. Obviously, this channel is very centered around GeoGuessr, and GeoGuessr will remain the primary focus of the channel. But I do want to branch out a bit and do some more general geography documentary type videos, but they won't be very common, and the first one won't be for a few months. GeoGuessr will still remain the primary focus of the channel. So, with all of that out of the way, let's get right into it. Number 5. Learn about the map that you're playing on. On the single player world map and the multiplayer variations of the world map, it's pretty safe to go to the capital if you find yourself in a large urban area. And if you find yourself in the middle of nowhere, make your guesses based off the surrounding geography like forests, lakes, mountains, or coastlines. And this doesn't just apply to the world map. These rural guesses are basically for every map. But on other maps like a diverse world, the location distribution will be much more diverse. So you'll just have to learn the game a bit better to be more accurate on these maps. Number 4. Find a suitable playstyle. There are essentially 2 ways of playing the game: fast and inaccurate, or slow and accurate, at least for 90% of GeoGuessr players. Of course, the best players in the world can make guesses very fast and very accurately because they've studied pretty much every country and every road. But like everything, that will come with time and practice. Both basic playstyles have benefits and drawbacks in competitive play. Guessing fast will get the timer going and put pressure on your opponent, and guessing slower but more accurately can give you an HP advantage by guessing closer. Number 3. Increase the difficulty when practicing. If you're finding warm-ups and practice too easy, crank up the difficulty by changing game settings or trying a new map. Practicing should be a challenge, and that's what makes you improve. If you're new to the game, try limiting your movement, or turning off movement altogether. If you're a more advanced or intermediate player, try no move pan zoom occasionally, or a more difficult map. Of course, the best way to practice is probably going to be normal competitive play. You can learn a lot from your opponents and from your own mistakes. But another great way to improve at the game is to involve yourself with the community. There are lots of great GeoGuessr YouTube channels that are out there to help you improve at the game. Of course, nothing will help you improve more than just playing, and increasing the difficulty when practicing is going to be the best way to play and improve. And as you rank up, you'll face more difficult opponents, and even if you lose, you should still learn some things. Number 2. Go at your own pace. Learning everything there is to know in GeoGuessr can be overwhelming and sometimes unmotivating, and also pretty boring. And this is fine. I think we've all been at that point where it feels like your skill has just been stagnating, and it's difficult to find new content to learn. And while you could just keep doing the same thing and waiting for Google to update Street View, the best way to counter this is to take breaks from the game and try different game modes, like country streaks, battle royale, or custom games, something that you don't normally play. It'll make the game feel more fresh and it'll be more motivating to improve. For me personally, when I'm playing single player a lot and I feel burned out, I'll hop on multiplayer, even if it's just something easy like country battle royale. It's like a completely different game, and you want to try to improve and play as best as you possibly can. Number 1 of the main points, because there's a couple smaller points I do want to get into after this. Don't burn yourself out. And while this does kind of go with number 2, as a GeoGuessr creator, this is probably my biggest fear for myself, is that one day I'll take a break and never play again. Luckily, as a creator, I have a secondary motivation to make videos, as well as play the game. So one day, if I'm not feeling like making videos, but I want to play GeoGuessr, I'll just make a video while I'm playing GeoGuessr, because why not? But anyways, back on topic. Like every game, it is important to take breaks. But at the same time, it's important to know when to come back. I'm sure you've experienced this as well, where you play a game, but kind of get bored of it. You take a break, but while you're taking a break, you pick up something else, or you just forget to play the game again. And you end up not ever coming back to it. Realistically, the answer to this comes down to you, whether you even want to come back to not just GeoGuessr, but I think this applies to every game. If you want to come back to that game, then just don't forget. For the rest of the video, I'm just going to go over some more minor points that are less general and more specific towards groups of players. For newer players or people that are just interested in the game but haven't picked it up yet, if you're truly interested in playing the game, don't let the paywall turn you away from it. And while I've said this quite a lot on the channel, subscription models do suck, but unlike a lot of other subscriptions, this one is relatively cheap. At the same time, if you don't want to pay for it, then don't do it. While I don't like turning people away from playing the game, I would only really recommend purchasing GeoGuessr Pro if you feel like you're going to play quite a lot of GeoGuessr. Now, for more intermediate and advanced players, play more multiplayer ranked if you aren't already. There really isn't a better way of improving at the game quickly than playing multiplayer, where you're able to learn from your opponent and your own mistakes. Because when you get something wrong, it forces you to focus on those mistakes so you can work on not making them in the future. And finally, if you're able to instantly identify a country, and pretty much any country, then start working on some of the places that you're weaker at and focus on learning specific regions of that country. And like I said in number 3, just try to increase the difficulty of single player practice by changing game settings, like turning on no move pan zoom or just turning off movement. Once you're able to do this, then start learning about the geographies of these countries and start studying even more specific regions. And after that, you gotta start learning roads and highways on Google Street View. But that's basically the final step to becoming a pro, so I don't expect many of you to be actually at that level yet. Anyways, I know this is a bit different from the content that I normally make, but I had a bunch of video ideas that I couldn't turn an individual one of these ideas into a full-length video, so I did want to try something out new and kind of did a compilation of a bunch of small ideas. So if you enjoyed this video, consider leaving a like. If you're new, please consider subscribing and let me know what you want to see me cover next. Anyways, see you in the next one.